Hi everybody, it's Father Ryan Adorjan from the Diocese of Joliet, and I want to wish you a very blessed Lent. One of the major themes that runs throughout all of Lent is our attachment to the story of the Israelites as they leave Egypt and head toward the Promised Land. We see the bulk of this story in the book of Exodus, in the first 5 books of the Bible. The book of Exodus is one of these remarkable books that contains most of the very famous images that people think about when they think about the Old Testament. The book of Exodus has the burning bush and Moses going up the mountain to meet God and receive the 10 Commandments. One of the major themes that runs throughout the book of Exodus is the constant complaining of the people of Israel. It's so interesting. On the one hand, they're joyful to get out of Egypt, and they're thanking God, they're rejoicing. And then it seems like 5 minutes later, they're saying, Moses, why are we out here in the desert? One of my favorite lines is the Israelites say, were there not enough graves in Egypt that you had to bring us out here into the desert to die? And Moses gets all stressed out and he cries out to God, please help us. And the Israelites, of course, they remain on the way, but questioning at times. And we can look at that and say, come on, Israelites, get it together. I mean, God's brought you out and He's guiding you. He's a pillar of cloud by day, a pillar of fire by night. And how much more obvious does it get that God is leading you? But on the other hand, we can compare this with our own experience when we're faced with a major transition, when we're faced with a big and difficult situation in our own life. We often have in our minds an image or an expectation of how those situations will go. We expect ourselves to be heroic and strong. But a lot of the time when we are confronted with challenges or big transitions or difficulties, we're not as strong as we thought. We're not as heroic as we thought we'd be. Because we discover that we are weak and oftentimes unprepared for what life has to throw at us. We saw that over and over again in the 2020. So we rely on God, of course, and we call out to God. The Israelites, time and time again, cry out, we're hungry, God, where are you? Moses, has God abandoned us? Where's the food? And just like that, God provides them bread from heaven. He gives them quail, more than they can eat. They say, God, we're thirsty. We have no water. Please, we're in the desert. Moses, why did you bring us out here? And Moses intercedes on behalf of the people, and God says, Moses, take that staff and smack it on the rock. And all of a sudden, where there was once a desert, now there's a stream flowing freely for the Israelite people. And this is a great theme to remember during Lent, especially as we begin to reckon with our own weaknesses, with our own difficulties. That while it might seem like God is far away, while it might seem like we're hopelessly lost, hopelessly sinful, we can view this trajectory of the Israelites and say, no, actually God is right there with us, guiding us and ready whenever we call out to Him. Whenever we're done doing it ourselves with our own little funny remedies for our problems, and we actually call out in faith to God, we trust that God is right there waiting to give us everything that we have asked Him for. And this is a great truth that we learn during Lent, and we see it come to full fruition on Easter Sunday. We learn to trust that who I am as a son or a daughter of God, that identity means more than anything in my whole life, and that the more surely I'm standing in this identity, the more certain I am of who I am in His sight, then suddenly these big waves of life and the transitions and the problems and the difficulties that once caused everything to collapse, my peace to collapse, my sense of well-being to collapse, all of a sudden I am strong. All of a sudden I am heroic. But it's not my own strength, it's not my own works of heroism, but it is the Spirit of the living God who comes into my life to set me free from the things that once held me back. So as you go through your Lenten journey, take yourself seriously, every part of yourself, because there's nothing off the table from God. He wants to see everything. He wants you to give Him everything so that He, in turn, can become everything for you. I invite you to join us next week for another installment of our Lenten video series. God bless you.